I may have mentioned before, Diaz's Full Moon Slash is incredible at breaking. And then, of course, the Air Slash, his most famous move. We've got action with Piercing Blades, I already mentioned. Hurricane Slash as his attacking move. Stop talking for just a second. Focus attacks. Alright. So, you just want to break. And then attack while they are stuck. Oh, it looks like we're not even taking damage. Or at least the odds of it. Which makes this even easier than I thought. That defensive formation with the full bonus really makes it a wash for them. Let's go. Fix. Make sure I put this back on and head up the tower. So yeah, when I originally started this project, I thought it was going to be a lot harder. I will say, if you do it on Chaos, it's probably really not fun at all. In the Mastery Guide, before, I did mention there's two accessories that double your power, the Ring of Might and the Berserker Ring. So you basically want to have those at all times, because the enemy's HP is so inflated. If you don't have those, you'll do basically 1/4 the damage, but conveniently, all of the enemies on Galaxy have 1/4 of the HP that they have on Chaos. So that balances out. You know, you kill enemies about as fast as you can on Chaos, except the difference is they deal way less damage to you. So it's a lot easier. As you saw, you know, we're not extremely over-leveled. I guess Diaz is a little bit, but the other characters, we were not taking very much damage at all, and we didn't even craft like super gear. We're just using what we picked up. So why did I do this? Well, I wanted to see, you know, I guess how much difference does experience with the game make? You know, what, maybe a little bit of it is, you know, how can I better offer advice to newer players? And taking away the skill system, you know, I think a lot of new players will not know what to do, kind of ignore it. And I can go in and I can tell them, hey, do this, and this, and you'll succeed. But then, you know, they'll see the video guide takes an hour. The video guide is like an hour, 2 hours, you know, like 2.5 hours total to cover the first 3 episodes. You know, they tell you how to use skill points and crafting and SP and stuff. Fists of the Titan right here for fun. I wanted to pick those up. They have a little more accuracy. You know, I can go in and I can tell them to do this, that, and the other thing, but they, you know, new players, really anybody, isn't going to want to actually do all of that. They're not going to want to sit there for hours. So just knowing, you know, what tools are available where, you know, how can I get stuff without doing all that work? And I mean, there is still some work involved in getting these particular things that I have, but you can see, obviously, great success. All you have to do is map out what you actually want to do. You know, you have to have a strategy for each of your characters. I've got Diaz's breaking and damage, just because he's that good. We're going to get back to that here. Wow, we didn't. Diaz is all around great, and part of it is, you know, I favored him, I'm controlling him. He's a lot worse if you let the AI control him, because you don't want to run in, you know, carelessly. You want to be spamming air slashes from afar, and the AI isn't always good about doing that. But yeah, Full Moon Slash, incredible skill. Air Slash, incredible skill. Diaz really is amazing. No, yeah, I do want to go this way. Sorry, I'm a compulsive match checker. You'd think, you know, with all these hours I have in the game, I would know where to go. But sometimes I just don't. Although, chatting it up also a little distracting. Claude, obviously, he hard carries the beginning of the game. He does so much damage with Meteor Palm, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe they allowed that skill to exist, as it does in the game. He's also pretty good at breaking when he decides to use Helmet Break. And then Ashton, Piercing Blades gets pretty early. I obviously needed a fourth character. So, you know, between everybody I could recruit, Priestess and Opera are basically useless. And Chisato comes in way too late. So really the choice is like Welsh or Ashton. And I just didn't feel like using Welsh again. I feel like people overrate Welsh when, frankly, until you get Slappity Slap, she's just Ashton 2. She doesn't have any good moves, so all she's doing is normal attacking. We don't. Oh, by the way, yeah, I have Chisato's Ash weapon. You can get it just from unique spots. So that's a reason she might not actually be that bad if you want to put the time in to using her in a no item creation run. She actually has one of the best weapons you can get. What color is this door? I think it's red. Let's see what else I'm supposed to say. Oh yeah, Claude carries damage. Ashton, very strong breaker. Bowman is just a guy. You know, you pick him up, he's instantly at full power. He's just a lesser Diaz because he doesn't have all the range that Diaz has, and his weapons are a little less accurate. But still, I mean, a character who's good out of the box is exactly what you want for a challenge like this. His poison pellets, they can actually poison enemies, and it's not an insignificant amount of damage that the poison can do, because it's actually uncapped, just like the revenge damage. I want to change formation back to Alphonse. The poison damage is uncapped, just like Chaos Sword, actually. Although I believe it is more intense on higher difficulties, where the enemies have more HP. Still, you know, not insignificant, especially early. Now he's basically relegated to this generic support guy. We're gonna get nice bigger one. Maybe all die. Wow, we don't have any MP left. Well, I guess we're just using one more attacks then. Here we go. We should... No, we're gonna have to break him again. So, the problem with not having any attack boosting accessories is that outside of breaking, where you can deal lots and lots of damage, you can see my characters don't really do much at all. You know, relative to the numbers that you would be used to seeing in a video like this. But yeah, you can see we still didn't really have that much issue. Now we can go back to formation, 2. Honestly, I'm not even sure how much value there is. I'll work back to it. You can see, I'm not sure how much value there is actually in broadcasting the run up the tower. It seems pretty clear already that we've won, but I did want to at least talk about, you know, what kind of gear can you look for, you know, is the best to get if you severely limit yourself. This puzzle. Honestly, part of me, I should have saved up here actually. Part of me is just saying, you know, cut the video now, because this is going to be embarrassing watching me try and get through this. Again, you'd think with the number of times that I've played through the game that I would remember the solution and whatnot to the puzzle, but I really don't. It's all vibes based. Let's just a red. That closes that door. Opens this one. Yeah, so you want to get here. I know that you have to get here with everything but green on, and then you turn the green on and you can walk through. How you get to that point, I never remember. I do appreciate how much crazier the Phynal theme is in this version compared to, you know, the PlayStation version. It really feels like Sakuraba just going ham on his instruments. I guess he wouldn't do all the composition for the series if he didn't love it, if he didn't find any joy in doing it. I also like the Mission to the Deep Space remake that plays in Major Tribulations in this version for the same reason. You can really feel him going ham on the keyboard.
That was a waste of time.
See, this is exactly the situation that I'm talking about, how annoying it is to not have bodyguard. Like, I shouldn't have to fight these things. Yet I do. So yeah, to say another thing. Oh, hey, look at that. This actually is a very good treasure chest. I'm glad that we happened upon it. The Shield of Athena is basically the best shield that you can get for Claude or Diaz. Nullifies instant death, which Diaz already has thanks to the Soul Jacket, so I will give it to Claude instead. Protects from all elements, great stats, and into death. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the PlayStation version of this puzzle, I honestly have absolutely no idea how it works at all. This weapon looks stronger, but it doesn't have perfect accuracy, so it's sort of Marvel's fantastic weapon. And Diaz can even customize one for you in this version using the Swallow Blade. Right, so I still have no idea at all how the puzzle on this floor works in the PlayStation version. I don't actually know anybody that does. You know, we just wrote down what the solution is and we follow it. Maybe it does work basically like this, which would be interesting, because this is way more clear, having everything on one screen. Yeah, overall I'm very happy with what they have done to the game. I think everything except the Field of Wisdom, which is much more annoying, is great. Just changing the blue down here. Let's go. Here. Blue here. And now we can see all of those are active. Okay, that's how you do it. Watch this back later if you want to know how to do the puzzle. Maybe mute the video so you don't have all my insane ranting. What else is there to say? Oh yeah, so if I were to do this on Chaos, I think it would be so much worse. I don't think it would be fair in the slightest. Chaos mode is definitely 100% totally made for people who know how to abuse the systems. You can tell just because enemies take so long to die if you don't do that. I have been seeing a couple people on Twitch these days starting up Chaos mode playthroughs without knowing what to do. And that's commendable, but also kind of crazy to me. Anyway, here's Lucifer.
This is tough. There's a one-way ticket to hell sound. The price, your lives.
And we gotta admire this guy too. He really does try and fight you one on one. And assuming this doesn't kill us all, it'll be fine. Is Diaz immune to wind? Yeah, easy.
No
Well, I'd
sweat.
say that's worth 10 out of 10.
I think I've earned this. Is kind of embarrassing.
Alright, so another thing I guess I should talk about in this version, it's kind of been implied through all of the guides and everything I've said before, but the challenge missions really break this game wide open. Like, the fact that they give them to you, all these rewards for just playing the game, I guess they did it in order to help people who don't want to engage with the item creation. I wonder how much they took that into consideration, because most of the gear we got does come straight from the challenge or from the unique spots. You know, those
Well, I'd say that's worth 10
experience
out of
boost
10.
points that they just have around the map. Yeah, this version is so much more broken than the original versions were. You could argue that PSP version is more broken than the PlayStation one, because they added the 3-hit combo. Have you ever wanted to spray 72 stars in a combo? I think there's a dual suit up. It's one of them. Or dueling helmet. That's better than what we got here. There should be a dual suit somewhere around here. Dual suit, not that important now, because you just fought the big boss that would petrify you. Although if you break the limiter on Gabriel, he will petrify you constantly. Are there any other lessons to be learned while we're going through this? Don't ignore the challenge missions. You shouldn't really have to, intentionally do most of the challenge missions either. A lot of them come from just doing stuff in the game. You know, the mission for dealing 5,000 damage, which is honestly trivial, gives you the offensive formation that we have right now. There's the dueling suit. I actually don't want it on you. I want it on Haniel instead. That's because Blood is using the rally. The only challenge mission for this challenge that I think I intentionally had to do was putting all of the BP into Rena's spells, which is really funny to think. About surpassing the damage limit. By the way, we go to improve. Obviously, I was using BP to cap out your moves, and also I put some BP into the skills, especially surpass damage limit. Although we're only hitting like 12 or 13,000 most of the time, you know, barely more than the damage cap. It's still a little bit worth it, but I guess the most interesting thing that I found in this playthrough, this quick run-through, was that when I wasn't intentionally farming it, you know, I'm on Galaxy, just fighting basically normally, you get surpassed damage limit, you know, you deal 40 million damage, right about the time you clear all the 4 fields. And I have to wonder if that was... What am I doing? If that was the intention. It seems like a pretty reasonable time. Oh wow, we're getting shredded here. How did we get owned so bad? Oh, you know what it is? We probably want super armor instead. I'm pleasantly surprised that this is a little bit more complex than just walk up and use skills. Which one's super? Yeah, here we go. This is probably Death Zero's favorite formation. Square shift 1. We got hit up, avoid up, super armor. Let's try that again and see if we do a little bit better. Right, so like I was saying, I think, based on my experience recently, you are supposed to get surpass damage limit at the 4 fields. Wow, what even... Oh, it's Stone Rain. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I was made by mankind.
One problem with this game, and it is a serious... when you're playing properly and having all 4 characters spam skills as fast as possible. You cannot tell what is actually... let's resurrect Diaz here. Oh yeah. Diaz is weak to all elements because he's wearing the Ring of Might. And I think he's also weak to fire because of the Ring of the Deep King. It might not actually be worth it for me to wear those in this case. Let's see, we got weakness, effect, you absorb fire. Yeah. Overall, we've got some good resistances. Let's try, let's change to something more neutral here. See if that helps us get in. Might, that's fine. Really, not that much good stuff to wear. You know what? Fairy Ring. Let's get more MP.
This is tough.
Let's go.
Okay, yeah. That went a lot better. Although it might have just been random, you know, whatever spell he decided to cast. Couldn't even tell what it was. And honestly, that's how the fights on Chaos is. If you want to beat them fast, you want to get the break off, you gotta just get lucky and hope they decide not to just kill you instantly. There we all took damage. We do have a holiness. Get some of those from challenges as well. We're getting Stone Rain. Stone Rain is mimetically powerful. Resurrection missed. Oh, he's almost broken. There we go. Ah, so close. Ooh. We're all dead. Dang. That was a close one. Let's try that again. Does it keep my changes? It does. No, I'm pleasantly surprised. At least the final boss here is relatively difficult. Maybe I should do pro strat and switch who I'm controlling to constantly use more break moves than the AI would.
Why? I was made by mankind.
Yeah.
Why do you
You actually do have to think a little bit in the end game here. But basically everything before this was extremely easy. At least to me. I know to a new player it wouldn't be, because they're not actually going to know what all the best moves are. But the basic principle is just break. Break the enemy, because break is so good. Oop. The crazy thing about this game is that you can, because you can use items so fast, you can resurrect into an attack. You can die to an attack, resurrect while the hitbox to the attack is still out, and immediately die again. That is one thing that I wish maybe had gotten a little more attention. There was just a touch more invincibility. Wow. Why did I get destroyed that time? There was a touch more invincibility when you resurrected. It's remarkably different based on what he does. Sometimes we block, and sometimes we just don't, and then we get shredded. Alright, cool. Let's use a Holy Mist here, heal ourselves up.
Why? I was made by mankind. Why do you refuse my offer of destruction?
Maybe it's actually not worth it to have Action even trying to use Hurricane Slash. Maybe he could just stick completely to piercing blades.
Let's go.
Because the breaks are actually that important.
The fated hour has arrived.
Well, die. Alright, we got him. Nice. Ah. Assuming we don't... Yeah, we got him. Alright, that one was actually pretty action-packed. The question is, what could I have done differently to make it easier?
Now this is what I'm talking
And I'm actually thinking about it right now. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, I could have had, like, everybody at level 100. That would have made at least some statistical difference. What else could I have done? This is all just going to be the end of the game, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to have to go back to, like, the title screen. Oh, one thing you should be doing, probably, is you want Reflection instead of Power Up. That's what I should have done. I should have put Reflection.
Are you sure
Oh, hey, I didn't have this trophy yet. This is the profile I use when they're recording stuff for Twitch. It's the PS5 version instead of the PS4 version. That's where all my good stuff is.
Well, see you.
Cool, I finally got that trophy on the PS5 version. It's annoying that they didn't sync up, but I guess I get to have the trophies twice. What was I saying? Yeah, so Reflection. Reflection and maybe Witch's Powder, if you can find it somewhere. Those have spell damage, would probably have gone a huge way towards not having us die constantly. I think Square Shift 2 actually is pretty good. Getting the extra Avoid and the Super Armor, just to force your breakthrough. Obviously, it's not nearly as flashy as having the Tri-Shift 2, or especially Upper Caution. You know, you break somebody and you have the Upper Caution formation, they die. They melt in 5 seconds. Yeah, so once again, you can see if you do more prep, the game is easier. Sure, we can save this as a clear save. Let's actually check to see if I have any witch's powder or whatnot. I know that Celine does have reflection as a skill we could. Or Brenna and Celine both have it actually. I put that on the self-formation. Well, let's just take a quick look at my consumables. I wish I could have used replication to copy this. It would have saved me a lot of time. Let's see. Nope, we barely have anything. So yeah, the solution there was reflection. But I'll let you guys go now. A little bit embarrassing at the very end there. But really, honestly, everything except the very last dungeon is extremely easy. Even if you don't use item creation. Assuming you're not playing on the high difficulties that expect you to. Because you just get so much good stuff from the challenge missions. And from the unique spots or points of interest. I always say unique spots. I think they're supposed to be called points of interest. But yeah, that's it. This game is great. Love it. If you know what you're doing, it's very easy. If you don't, it's really hard. And frankly, that's why I started putting guides out. Because I see a lot of people, they get to the end of the game, and they just have no idea what to do. Focus on breaking. If you can break the enemy, you can kill the enemy. You might need to get to level 100 for the break booster, though. The multi-enemy bosses are nasty. I do have one other challenge video that I'm working on, or a challenge video idea, I guess. Maybe I'll record that later, but my voice already hurts. I've been talking so much. So maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, we'll see. It'll be another funny concept. Thanks for tuning in.